All right, spawning in the bottom center, we have Horus the Holy, representing Hopper. In the top left, we have the man known as Epicosity, sporting the owl and fox. And we have a little bit of information about Horus. Representing the United States of America. 21 years of age, playing on keyboard, ranked 171 on Camel, playing the game only since 2020. Interesting, a rather new player.
Word on the street is Horus spins a Ferris spinning wheel to decide all his units. He never makes his out of any preset kind of gig, random all the time. And that's what we'll probably see out of this series. Horus, known for taking just about anything. You really never know what he's going to put out of the hat, and that's why he's one of the hardest opponents in Intermediate to prepare for.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Such an interesting and dynamic player, and that is so funny that you say that, because I feel that there is a ring of truth to that. I mean, you almost never know what he's going to select, and this is such a unique deck coming out of him right here. Wolf, Chameleon, Snake, Balloon. So we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not surprised to see the toads. I do know that the man loves toads. And Epicosity is already starting up with the lizards.
Yep, Epicosity a bit slower on the expand. He's one farm down. Horus taking the one farm lead. It's going to be pretty easy to defend, right? He's got two base on high ground adjacent to each other. So there is two entrances, so you have to be wary of the lizards, but I imagine he'll manage to hold just fine with the toads. Interesting comp, when it comes down to when you're only going to pick tier 2, and you go for the Cam Snake build, it's very almost Trumpet-esque, where he played Cam Snake as his choice of tier 2 synergy. It can definitely be very strong, but you want to watch out for mass blobs of units. But when the economy gets really high, and Falcons start churning out, it can get a bit tricky because Falcons are going to outscale you eventually. But early mid-game, this comp works wonders.
Great play from Epicosity, by the way. He went in with the lizards. He saw that it was a 6-on-6, so lizards were superior. I can't help but Horus the Holy should have been fighting inside of his base. Sort of a ill-timed move out on his part, and he lost a farm for it. Hopefully he can catch back up in eco. He is getting slightly ahead, and now he has the army tempo. With these toads, Epicosity is not going to be able to engage, and he's in a weaker position. Let's see how he responds. He's going to go more squirrels.
Yeah, Epicosity posturing for a little bit. There really is only one direct path between these two's larger territories. So I imagine the toads are going to have a bit more success in this tight area. But if Horus allows Epicosity to get a good concave on his units, could spell trouble.
Interesting for Epicosity to be so aggressive and so bold with these lizards. I'm almost starting to think that he's faking an attack here just to get up on economy, and that looks like exactly what he's doing. Look at this greed coming down from Epicosity. Horus is going to have to do something in response, either attack or eco himself, because Epicosity is going to be up 3-4 minutes from now, and he's going to have a major advantage. Horus needs to leverage these toads and these chameleons and see if he can get some damage done. Let's see what he decides to do.
He even drops an owl, but if you take a look at the army graph, Epicosity and Horus are neck and neck. The way the tempo and the timing is right now, Horus isn't actually largely ahead on Epicosity on army. Right as I say that, though, the next cam does pop, and you'll see that army graph start to spike for Horus. This is his opportunity.
It is, and Horus does not scout the owl. So close. He almost had it, but Epicosity was attacking the commander of Horus so efficiently. He didn't let him scout, and he still doesn't know about this owl. Let's see if he finds it now. Looks like he's going for it. Nope, just the eco. He needs to get up on that ledge. He can't see into the high. Man, painful. He doesn't know about the owl. If he knew, I'm sure he'd be attacking.
Horus floating almost up to 300 food, still on 250, 260.
Going up to 10 chameleons. Is he just going to try to bust down the door of Epicosity and roll through?
You know, Epicosity going for 6 skunks, that's not exactly the strongest response to 10 chameleons.
But but that Owl's almost done, and now Horus the Holy is down on Eco, and he's going to be down on Tech without a tier 3 to his name.
Yeah, Horus's timing is a bit offbeat. Putting down all the tier 2 late is just going to give Epicosity time to get enough units to hold a defense. I mean, I think with defender's advantage, Epicosity should be fine here. Wow, to see.
6 chameleons now. And he's
Oh,
throwing down a wolf, but it's a little late, I think.
It is, but if he holds to the wolf, there are still no snakes up yet.
Horus is going to donate 60 food to Epicosity. It looks like he isn't going to lose a single lizard. Is Horus going to answer this?
He could go for the trap, but it's just going to get him sandwiched between 2 different unit groups. So
yeah, Epicosity has the high ground.
That's not actually a ledge you can shoot off of, so no danger there yet.
This is going to be the big engage. Let's see if 10 chameleons can make a miracle happen here. It looks like that gas is just too strong. The chameleons go down, and what does Horus have left? He sold all his toads. He just has a couple of squirrels.
The snakes are out, but it's a little too late. 10 chameleons, it requires too much space to actually get down. They're going to end, a lot of those chameleons are going to end up walking around looking for tile space instead of getting real damage on.
And now Epicosity is looking for the killing blow. He has his third base fully farmed up. He's ahead on Eco. He's ahead on Tech. He's ahead on Army. He's going to try to close out this game with this single owl. And it looks like he's just going to do that. The chameleon's just not enough to hold this off.
Yeah, now that the armies are dispersed, those cams are just getting picked off one by one, not nearly getting enough value. The owl forcing them to reveal too early.
Such an unconventional deck out of Horus. I almost think that he had his timings. There were opportunities where he could have moved in and he could have done some serious damage if not taken the game. But once that owl came out and once those 6 skunks were born, it was just too much for him to handle. Without any kind of AoE coming out of Horus, it's just such a challenge dealing with this composition. He's going to try to use that Warren as best as he can, but I can't help but think that Epicosity might just take the game right here, right now. These 6 skunks just going uncontested. And that's it.
Oh, just the residual skunk gas as Horus throws in the towel. That was a lot of skunks that did a lot of work in that matchup.
Game 1. Going to Epicosity in this best of 7. Let's see what Horus brings to the table. I think he's going to have to maybe lay his hands off the wheel and go for a more standard kind of composition here. Epicosity going for the triple tier 3. What a choice. We've seen him do this before with success. He's taken out players such as the Gentleman with this build. Horus wants to lean in on tier 1 and go for a Badger. It could be enough. We're going to have to see.
This pigeon pick is important out of Horus. The way you get past this is you just need a tier 2 that's not ferret and pigeon, and you can take the wire and push in before the tier 3 pop. Snake pigeon gets the job done. That's like almost an auto win.
Let's see if he could, he has to first recognize the push. The build and the composition out of Epicosity, and then he has to counter perfectly. So we'll see if he could pull it off. I think, against these units, a Badger can do pretty well. Badger's definitely going to counter the Owl well enough. In the meantime, while these 2 players are scouting the map, I do have a little bit of information about our second player in this best of 7 Bronze Intermediate Division, and that is Epicosity. Epicosity, representing the United States, age 23, ranked 92 on Camel, also plays with keyboard. And Epicosity has been around for a while, playing the game since 2017.
Epicosity is no mere TNT player either. He's actually the firstborn son of a meme lord, and next to inherit reign over all memes, which is why we see so much of that meme responsibility in his playstyle. Going for triple tier 3 game 2, already feeling like he can pull the big cheese out on Horus.
And a pretty interesting counter to this 4-farm double with the wire. He sacrificed a bunch of wire, but I think it actually paid off pretty well. Horus is going to get a pig, though.
That was a pig for 3?
That was, I believe so.
A pig for 3 is technically that's even, but because that farm was even alive at all, it's actually a positive trade for Epicosity, because every second that farm was alive, that's another one more food in Epic's pocket. So that trade, all in all, was good for Epic.
Yeah, Mocha pointing in the chat, wire is very strong in the early game, and I have to agree. I think that Epicosity's defense with the wire there after scouting the 4-farm double was pretty spot on, only losing 1 pig, and at this point he's up on Eco and he's up on Army. So definitely a strong opening from Epicosity. Very well played counter.
Yeah, that said, Epic's going to have to, if he really wants to hold off an attack, he's going to have to seal off at least 3 different sections of wire to prevent any entry on Horus's part. So really not the best spawn you would hope when you go for triple tier 3. You want to kind of pray for 1 entrance. They only have to wire up 1 time, but definitely not out of his reach.
And Epicosity, he sees this 1 Warren. He sees just a slight weakness in the play from Horus, and he's going to snipe it, get some damage on it. And look at this play. This is so good by Epicosity to snipe this pig using the high ground vision from his commander. Very well done.
Yep, making full use of that early game lead that Horus gave him by going into an unsuccessful rush. And this is exactly where you want to be when you're running a triple tier 3 deck. Fox first. Interesting play. Maybe he's not thinking of taking this very long.
Yeah, interesting that you see the Fox.
Typically, you want to go first.
It's interesting that you see the Fox specifically against the Lizards. You know, the Lizard isn't exactly a counter to a Fox by any means, but it's pretty dang close. So we'll have to see if this Fox can really get Horus value against this mass Lizard army.
The interesting dynamic when it comes to this kind of matchup is if you don't have something that can kill the Fox, because the Lizards aren't faster, they're the same speed. The Fox can pick off a Lizard, and even if it gets chased, it can run back into its own territory where Lizards can't take an engage, because you want to take an open engage and not engage into someone's base. Then you can just pick off your opponent's Lizards indefinitely until you can run them over with the rest of your army.
Exactly, and you know this strategy well, Meek. I know you know it very well. You're an excellent Fox player yourself. You've done it to me numerous times, so we'll see if... Oh, it looks like actually Epicosity sold the Fox. He's going for a squirrel all in. And he does have the numbers here.
The timing is good, but the choke point is tight.
Choke point's tight, but that's kind of what you want against Lizards.
I don't know. This looks like a really good engage for the Lizard player.
Yeah, you know, his squirrels were trying to find tiles there. And they weren't attacking for the whole thing.
But the issue now is Horus can just chase down every reinforcing Lizard.
Exactly.
Look, that's 1, 2.
This is why Defender's advantage is so strong in the game of Tooth and Tail. When you attack, you have to have such a decisive advantage.
Oh, Horus, maybe overstaying is welcome.
Let's do a quick inventory. We have 4 farms coming out of Horus. We have we have 5 farms from Epicosity, and Epicosity has the second most starting. I still think that this game looks a slightly Epicosity favored, but it's definitely very close.
Yeah, but Horus still has that mobility, so if he really wanted to, he could just start buying more mills on the map, ecoing harder, going lower in army, and Epicosity has nothing he can do about it because he can't split up his unit groups. So he risks getting base raced if he chooses to push in.
Yeah, and it looks like Horus is going to go for some cheeky Lizard play here, and this is exactly what he needs to do to get value. He could just do this all game with the low mobility of the Squirrel army. He's just going to pick off Warrens. 2 Warrens for free. I don't think he lost a single Lizard. Epicosity does have a stronger army right now, and he is going in for a counterattack. He's grabbing the mill for some tanking, which is a very smart play.
Horus needs to not take an engage here. Horus needs to go around. He needs to recognize that he can't actually take this fight, because if he does, he's absolutely going to get smashed.
Yeah,
Lizards on
19
defense are
squirrels
not
to
bad,
15
especially when you have
lizards. And that one, oh, he does end up selling. That farm is in a very worrisome location. He's going for the engage. The squirrel's firing first before the lizards can find tiles. Such a close fight.
Oh, the lizards got a good engage. Oh, even though he had 3 less, he still made it work.
He made it work. The armies are wiped, and now they're just about equal. Epicosity is still up on Eco. However, Defender's advantage is in Horus's favor. And now he's building barbed wire. What an interesting decision for this siege to be a little more effective, get some more tanking in. That's only 20 food for that barbed wire.
But Horus just reinforces so fast. Lizard's one of the fastest reinforcing units, and they are again going to start going on a picking spree.
Very good micro by Horus there, pulling back just at the last second.
Yeah, it's 5 for 5, 6 for 6 units apiece, but Epic's units have to reinforce, so really it's not 6 on 6.
Such a close game. Horus is slightly behind on economy. However, Epicosity is halfway across the map right now, and Horus has a mobility on his side. He senses some weakness. He goes for the army, and I think he's going to clean it up. Huge win coming out of Horus right here.
And this is why you don't want to play offensively with a triple tier 3 deck, because the second you blow your advantage, you're just out in the open, and you have no way to defend yourself. Like, he can't go for a tier 3 now.
Looking at the economies now, Horus is going to pull ahead. They're equal on army. They're equal on warrants. Horus has a slight lead on eco. Now he's going for a wraparound. I don't think Epicosity sees this coming.
There just wasn't enough diversity in Epicosity's composition to play as aggressively as it did. Even though he took the lead initially, it started to bite him back when those lizards in high mobility count just ended up getting good engages. If you take a look at those army graphs, Horus won every single engage. Every single engage, Epic came in with more army, lost the fight.
And now the cards are in Horus's hands here. He's sort of in control of this game. He has a mobility on his side. He has a larger army. His economy is a little healthier. He needs to dictate the pace and dictate Epicosity's moves from here on out. It looks like he's going to eco strong, which I think is a good decision. Let's see if he uses this lizards to see if he can pick off some warrants. I think he could definitely split up his army and try to catch Epicosity out of position, and it looks like that's what he's going to try to do. Unfortunately, he's going for the mill, which is very well defended with wire and squirrels. Nope, now he's going around.
Wisely thinking twice about that engage.
Epicosity knows. I mean, let's see if he can get any kind of value. Those warrants are in a really nice position for Epicosity.
Looks like it's just going to be a scout.
And now, what decision... he's trying to trick him. This is a really risky play by Horus. I don't know if I completely agree with it, to be honest. He's going to get 3 warrants, but is he going to lose his army?
I think it's well worth it. This is, yeah. Even though he loses the fight, it's only by a couple lizards. They're going to reinforce by the time Epic makes it to his base. That was a great pick.
A very risky play. That intuition coming from Horus to know to go for that kind of play right there. It's very well done. A lot of players would have thought, this is a little too risky. His army is right there. I'm going to be out of position. Those warrants are going to be tanking, but he goes for it. The decisive move is going to put him further ahead in this game. And I bet Epicosity's thinking, man, if only I took Toads.
Yeah, whenever I run a triple tier 3 deck, I always play defensively. You have to hunker down. Get your trip tier 3 out. If you're going for Wolf Fox, maybe you want it, but ultimately the best way is you hunker down between 1-2 base, you get the wolf out, you pump out the badger, not the badger, you pump out the owl and the fox on wolf stem, and you wreck house. But just on squirrels versus an army of larger lizards, man, Epicosity is gonna have to pull this one out of the bag.
Yeah, we'll see if he could pull a rabbit out of a hat. Horus now going up to 30 lizards. Epicosity does have the barbed wire though, and if he could have some good barbed wire placed in strategic locations, which is exactly what he's doing right now, he should be able to hold off 30, even 35 lizards. So we'll see. Horus just slightly ahead. I'm wondering if there's going to be a deviation out of any of these players, if anyone's going to go for a tier 2 or a tier 3 at any point.
I can't imagine Horus, or I can't imagine Epicosity going for skunks, because the lizards will just run straight through skunk gas by if it's only 2. Horus, I think he could pull some snakes and get some snake poke if he really wanted to, but he really doesn't have to. He could just do this kind of poking all day.
He's going for a base trade. He's going for a base trade. He grabbed that mill in the top right corner, and that's what triggered it. He's going to try to use these lizards to see if he can trade bases faster than Epicosity. Epicosity, very, very well played. He split off some squirrels to the north, and he got a free mill for it. However, Epicosity hasn't scouted that mill in the top right. Horus, he knows he can win this game if he could just get a good base trade off, and that's what he's going for. But is this a mistake? The squirrels are here in time. Horus is going for the engage. The armies clash. Are the squirrels going to be too much? Horus is woefully out of position for this fight, and he loses everything.
Yeah, he couldn't take that engage at all. He absolutely needed to hunker down, just turn his current advantage into a bigger eco advantage. Eco on that mill he just bought for the base race, because Epic couldn't press in. He had the lead, and even now he's reinforcing. He has almost equal army, but
this is such a close game. I think Epic
Horus
just has a slight advantage at this point, but it's so hard to say.
Horus went from a completely winning position to it's dead even again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dead even, but the thing is, Horus is going to fall behind on economy pretty soon. Once these farms go up, it's going to be really hard for him to come back in this game. And taking this forward mill that I'm hovering over right here as Horus's third, when he did it, I thought it was risky because, he's using lizards. He could take any mill on the map, and he takes the one that's closest to Epicosity's army. And this is not exactly where you want to fight. As Horus, his lizards are dancing around trying to find tiles, but it looks like it doesn't matter. I think he's going to win the engage. Is this it? Has Horus done it? Has Horus broken Epicosity?
The 2-farm pick, I think it's already more than enough. Unless Horus goes for another base set, and I can understand when you're running like a lizard-oriented comp, your mind is always thinking base race. I'm going to base race because how else am I going to win against Squirrel Toad? But when you realize you're in this winning position, you have map control, your opponent can't press into you, you understand that your comp deals better with them even on equal army, then you have to get out of that base race mindset and start thinking, how can I sustain my advantage? And he needed to eco instead of push for that base race.
Base race was looking good, but Epicosity's defense was on point. It's almost as if that he suspected that's what Horus was going for, and he pulled his squirrels back perfectly. Now he has barbed wire in key locations, and he's just going to be pulling ahead on economy. Horus is down to 1 farm. Now he's starving. He needs to make a decision. He needs to make it fast. How is he going to win this game? Is he going to eco? It looks like it.
If I'm Horus here, I think I would be willing to even go down to 9 lizards, just eco my 3rd mill, and constantly threaten the base race now, because now you're behind. And Mocha's pointing it out, and true, if we take a look at the army graph, he's a bit behind in army, and he's a bit behind in eco. But Epic doesn't have the luxury of just running him over.
Right.
And normally you would need like 12 lizards to push in and do a base race, but that's on a full 8 farmed economy. 9 lizards can get the job done on a mill with only 3 pigs on it.
This is a difficult situation for Horus to be in. I don't know how he can get out of this. He's going to slowly try and eco, but Epicosity is just slightly ahead of him.
I think Horus could go a little harder here, but I mean it's hard to make that decision to sell 1 Warren.
Yeah, Horus is looking for damage. He's looking for an opening. This is it's almost like a stalemate. Epicosity can't move out to attack Horus, because then Horus will just destroy his base. Horus can't get in to do any damage because his squirrels are at home. I almost think that if Horus really wants to come back into this game, he needs to take a big risk. And that risk is going to have to involve selling off some lizards.
Yeah, I mean, in truth, the most dangerous thing Horus can do to Epicosity right now is to deny him information. Right now, Epicosity knows where his lizards are, and Horus is posturing, looking for different angles, but he's showing Epicosity where the lizards are. Even if he went down to 6 lizards, if he hid them, and Epic doesn't know where he is, he won't go in. I would never go in. If I was in this situation, I don't know where my opponent's lizards are, and I only have squirrels, I can't split my unit groups, I'm not going to risk it and go in. So really denying Epicosity that scouting information and keeping your units hidden, ecoing harder, and rolling him in a couple minutes because Epicosity was too afraid to go in when he had to, is I think what Horus needs to do, but he chose to go in!
Yeah, he's getting a little desperate here, and I think that's going to be it. Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand the decision. It was a challenging position to be in, just knowing that you're behind an economy, knowing that you're behind an army. So just kind of throw your army in and hope for the best. And that's going to be it. Epicosity is going to go up 2-0.
Yeah, it can take some serious nerves of steel to make the right response in those tight situations. And I can understand that Horus can might have overlooked the best way to play that position.
All right, so now Horus is going with a deck that I've seen. He's going to pull an owl. I'm sure of it. Is he? Let's see. Yep. Okay. This is a deck that Horus is very comfortable with, and he's had a lot of success with it as well. His static defense deck. He's got his game face on, and this is him playing as hard as he can. He's used this in the previous matches with great success. He has a decent map for it. I mean, a pretty good map if you want a 2-base all in on a deck like this. Getting a 3rd base is going to be kind of tricky. So we'll have to see. Epicosity also pulling the owl himself, and I think he ran this in game 1. Epicosity has figured something out. He loves this owl and fox composition. I've seen him do it a number of times before, and it's going to be interesting if we could see both the owl and the fox come into play.
Yeah, when it comes into these owl v owl matchups, I would say that the fox isn't going to contribute, because an owl in replacement for a fox warren is just going to give you better dividends. That said, Epicosity does have skunks, but as does Horus, so both of them have that kind of skunk owl synergy. So it kind of depends on how they ratio their army values if it ends up being on equal economy.
Let's see, Epicosity, I think he's going to get a free pick here. That first turret was such interesting placement.
Oh. And this is a lesson to everyone. When you're defending early game rushes, unless you have to, always build units instead of MGs, because if your MG's misplaced, they can just go around it.
Yeah, that high ground location, I think he was trying to catch Epicosity off guard, hoping he'd go for that lower right-hand corner pig. But it unfortunately was a risk that didn't pay off for him, and this is going to put Epicosity in the lead in terms of eco. And this is, I believe, Epicosity rushed last game as well. Or did, if I'm not, I believe this is the second time now Epicosity has rushed. Or no, excuse me, Horus rushed last game. These players are really keeping each other on their toes with these rushes. It's not something that we usually see this frequently, which I find pretty interesting. They're both using lizards, and they're both pre-8 farm rushing, so it kind of adds a little extra flavor to this matchup. And Horus going up for 3 mills. I feel like I'm watching a StarCraft game, and this is a Zerg player grabbing 3 mills this quickly. Really interesting decision making coming out of Horus.
This can work if your goal is to kind of psych your opponent out and make them think you're not ecoing when you really are. But Epicosity is just holding down the fort, ecoing hard, and like any mind game Horus tries to pull, which he's not even. So this doesn't really validate getting the 3rd mill, in my opinion. I think it just puts you slightly behind. Unless he
Yeah.
gets the 8 farm really fast and starts ecoing on the next one immediately,
That's what I
I
was
don't
thinking.
really see the point.
But yeah, but even then, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if it pays off. Right now, this is just an eco fest, and you know, Horus has the static defense and the owl, so I think he's happy to just eco and sit back. You know, he has his cards. He hasn't really showed them, although he has showed the MG. So I think he could kind of leverage this position. Unfortunately, Epicosity has owls of his own. Getting the commander kill.
Tiki likes to say in the owl matchup, the person who builds the owl first is at a disadvantage because the opponent can just eco really hard, hold for the first wave, and then respond with more owls that will build quicker because of a higher economy. We'll see if that's what happens in this matchup. However, the second stipulation is if one person goes double owl first and they pop before the second person gets any owl, that first push could be the end.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I kind of like Epicosity's position here. I don't know if I 100% would Tiki. You know, maybe if Horus had put the owls down like now, or in the next 15 seconds. But these two owls are going to be way quicker than Horus is. He's floating so much food right now. And what is his decision just to eco like a madman? And I want to point this out. Horus, he hasn't scouted the owls yet. He doesn't know. And unfortunately, it's kind of like the worst unit that he could be going up against right now. His owls are just going to be so far behind. He needs to throw down 1,000,000 MGs. He needs to build some more skunks. And he needs to see if he can hold on.
I mean, that said, the only units that Epicosity has that can even hit Horus's defenses are going to be the squirrels and the owls. Like, those skunks aren't going to contribute to the MG fight except maybe tank damage from the MGs. But an MG wall on high ground might be able to hold.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's check on this wall. Oh, wow. Now
that
the
already?
artillery's going up. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be able to break this. Epicosity
not
has
going
to
be up in time, though.
It's not. He has to go like so fast.
Oh, Epic's going to snipe the third!
Does he know about it? No, he doesn't know about it.
No, look at the minimap. He does.
Oh, he does? Okay. Now he's going for it. And the defense is up, but he doesn't have his owls yet. Let's see if he could do some damage. He really wants to get that artillery, and he's going to get it. Look at the value. Oh my god, so much free food from Epicosity.
That was an important pick. Getting down that already would have been a really nice position for Horus, but now it's down. It's probably not going to get up ever again.
And so it's a shame because it's like the perfect location for an artillery cannon. Like, look at that. That little ridge was made for an artillery cannon. Epicosity smartly going for the undefended third. But the thing is,
Cabinet going down will sound an alarm, telling Horus, hey, he might be going for the third.
Yeah, and Horus is going to lose his third, but he is going to have 4 owls out to Epicosity's 2 owls. So he might be able to make a play here. It looks like he's going in for damage. The mice of Epicosity are at the third mill of Horus, not where they want to be. They're not in the fight. Is Horus going to take the game right here?
I don't know. That high ground was really good for Epic. He got his skunk gas down first. It's a mesh of blue and red.
Oh my god, this fight is just all over the place, but Horus's mice prevail, and I think Horus is going to take the game from here. He's got the superior owl count. Those skunks aren't going to last forever.
Without the skunks, Epicosity's position is going to crumble, but more already building. His other 2 skunks are halfway built.
And man, now he's got lizards to back up the DPS. He's just going for all in.
He's 8 farms down. I don't think he can kill Epic right here. As long as Epic holds, he's 8 farms up.
Yeah, and I think once Epicosity has the next 2 owls come out, I don't think that Horus is going to have an advantage any longer. Epicosity's up in owls. Is going to be up in owls. He's going to be up in skunks.
Is this a best of 5 matchup or a best of 7?
Best of 7.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Epicosity managed to stabilize. He got a hold after the snipe. He's in a great position.
Yeah, he's going for a wraparound with these lizards, but they're just falling so quickly to the gas. I think Epicosity is slowly going to push him back. Yeah, I mean, Horus is in a tough spot. He's building more owls. I don't blame him. I think he has to build more owls. I also think he needs to do some kind of double-pronged attack here if he wants to get anything done. The lizards are really the only edge that he has left in this game. And going for these owl warrens is going to help him. Oh, actually, it's doing some damage. I mean, now he's going to be up in owls.
Yeah, but he can't actually really afford that next out coming up. He's gonna have to sell down. I mean, I really think Epicosity's eco advantage is what's gonna give him the edge here.
He's down to his last farm as well. And Epicosity...
He's got twice as many skunks.
That's the thing, exactly. He has so many skunks, and Horus keeps pouring in lizards, but they just keep dying to this gas. Man, skunk gas actually looks really cool if you just look at the animation. Like...
Ooh, Horus might starve here. Horus has to buy that meal.
He's running for something. Oh, look at that. Epicosity even grabbed that farm. And I think this is Epicosity's game. I think he's going to go in for the killing blow. I don't know how much value these lizards are really getting. He needs to get a flank off or something. But here it is.
I think the real question is, will Horus tap, starve, or lose his mill first?
Yeah, he's got some snake tags on those owls too. And I think that's going to be it. Epicosity now up in every sense of this game. And Horus is going to tap. Epicosity going up 3-0 in the bronze medal match of the intermediate division. All right, Horus. What is your game plan here? You're down 3-0. Are you going to take a risk? Are you going to play standard? I love it. The first unit selection, mole. He's got to try something new. He's got to change it up. He's got to throw him off. Oh, no, he's canceling the mole. And look at Epicosity playing standard.
Oh.
Yeah, look at Horus's build. He's going to go for a cheese, and Epicosity's build. Oh, man, all right. Let's see how these two builds collide. Such an interesting deck selection out of both of them.
Oh, man. And this map, this is going to be interesting. Horus going for the quad tier 1.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's going to be good for Horus.
We'll see.
He just has to deny the wall. As long as he denies that initial wall getting set up.
Oh my god, Horus. Look at Horus. Look what he's going for.
Oh, he's going to go for the meek patented MG rush. Okay, so here's what he's going to do, right? He's going to let this build. He's going to wait for the pigs to go to the back rank of their little four tile farm square. He's going to put MGs right out of their range. He's going to take damage. Just watch. This is great. One back, tank. Put down the second. Put down the second one. Tank some more.
Still, that one is up. That one is going to go up. And that's going to be 2 free pigs.
This is by far my favorite rush, but he needs to go home and build.
Oh no, the pig survives!
Oh no!
With 1 HP, the pig survives!
But the issue here is you can't just be one-dimensional about this. You have to go home and you have to build units, and then you have to continue the offensive, or you have to double down. Because right now, he's a bit exposed, right? He doesn't have any units. Oh my god, he's going to go all in on the moles!
He's going all in on his last game. And I don't think Epicosity is going to scout this.
No, I think this works. I don't know.
I think he's hoping.
Epic might push. I mean, Epic's not going to scout that way. There's no way. There's no way Epic scouts.
Yeah, I don't think Epic's going to scout that way. And I think Horus is hoping that Epic sends his lizards across the map to try to go for some economic. Oh, he is going to scout that way. There he is. He sees it. And Horus sells down. And now Horus is going to be very behind. He needs to make a big decision on how he's going to come back into this game. I almost want to see some kind of defense out of it, maybe like an MG or something. because when these lizards go across, they're almost guaranteed to do damage.
Oh, that's it. I mean, this is a very difficult rush to pull off. Even I fail it. In tournament matches, I failed this kind of rush. It can be really painful and really rewarding when it pays off. But, yeah.
And I can confirm it can also be the most tilting rush to go up against as well. That's going to be it. Epicosity is going to take the game. And he's going to close out the series 4-0. Let me see if I can get him on the call for a quick interview.
Hello.
Epicosity, what's up, man? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very well played. What were you thinking that last game? Like when you saw him grab the mill, did you know MGs were coming?
No, I didn't see the mill.
Oh,
I only saw the yeah. One sec. Okay, sorry. I'm back. So I saw the turret on the mini map, and that's the only way I knew.
okay.
I didn't see the mill at all.
Have you faced that kind of strategy before?
I mean, I've done that strategy before.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Meek's done it to me, the meme lord himself. I don't know. Others, it's fairly uncommon. I did not expect that, to be honest.
Well, congratulations. You officially take the third place. It's a very well-fought game, very well-fought series, very well-played tournament, Epicosity. How do you feel?
Sick. I feel good. If only I'd beat Tatanka.
This, how many tournaments have you entered now? I know you've been in the scene for forever.
I don't know. Several.
Yeah. And is this the farthest you've made it?
Maybe. I think so.
Yeah. Are you thinking Premier next season? Because I mean, you're definitely cut out for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably Premier. I did intermediate because I don't like stressing out much when I go into games. Like I did a little with Tatanka. Like I got like all into the headspace of thinking and planning and whatnot. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna do Premier because intermediate is getting to be. Maybe people will complain it's unfair. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, dude. You played so well. Such an accomplished player. Meek, what do you have for our third place finisher?
Walk me through your deck decisions, Epicosity. I mean, we were talking about how they were a little unconventional, but kind of walk us through your mindset for those.
All right. Well, I was talking to you earlier about how when I play a series, I'm not really thinking too hard about what the opponent's going to do. I'm kind of just thinking, what would I like to play right now? And what would be entertaining to watch? And so that last one was like, I thought, all right, what if I go Arlu deck? Like, no one expects the guy who does crazy stuff all the time to go the most standard, boring deck. But then I decided, no, I really don't want to do that. So I just swapped it up, and then I went for, 4 defenses.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Any questions?
Oh, I should probably.
What was your reaction when you saw the moles that last game?
I kind of like did a double take. Like I could not.
Were you planning on moving out prior to scouting that?
Yeah, I mean he spent so much on that attack, and he only got 1 pig and like 1 or 2 lizards. So I was for sure gonna attack him because I knew he probably didn't build any warrens back home. At least he was gonna be building warrens, but they were gonna be. I mean, maybe he would have some reinforcements up by the time I got there, but I didn't know. I thought I might as well go poke and see what I can get done. But yeah, I ran into the moles and went, oh, okay, so this is happening.
Yeah, definitely unconventional. But you expected as much coming out of Horus. I don't know if you've played him before, but he's definitely a very unconventional player.
Not really. I didn't know what to expect. I never really watched him play, and I haven't played too much against him. I watched him when he was in the beginner division last season, but he kind of seemed like he wanted to play standard. He must have really adjusted his play style as he's gotten better. because he seemed very comfortable with a wide range of kind of, well, unique things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations. Very well played tournament. I enjoyed watching all of your games. You're such a dynamic player. You play so many different styles, which I think is what makes it so exciting to watch. Any words for anyone? Anyone you want to plug? Anything you want to
I'd like
say
to thank
before
my
we let you
mom.
go?
All the fans that got me here today. No,
Of course.
I don't know. I'm just excited for Kerpa v Tatanka.
Oh yeah. What are your
Like,
thoughts about that matchup?
I don't know. Kerpa 3-0'd me, although I was having an off day. He really hit me hard. I was not expecting him to play as well as he did. Tatanka's just so consistent. You know, he's like, what is he? He's definitely top 5 on Camel now, right? I know he's like number 2 on ranked points, but even though ranked points don't matter.
I know he was number 1 in ranked for a while. He might still be.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
He's 10 points off under Arlu at the moment, but yeah, he was
Wow.
number 1 for a day.
That's intense, man.
I'm gonna throw a
What's
statistic at you, Epicosity.
Okay.
He's played less than 400 games, and he's 14-14 up against Erilu.
14 and oh, holy what?
Yeah.
How did he like get so good so fast? What is his secret? Like I need to figure. I need to.
StarCraft.
Yeah, I know, but like I was pretty good at StarCraft at one point. Although Wings of Liberty was not like what it is today. It's kind of a meme fest back then, but like I don't know that I don't feel like that really translates because Tooth and Tail feels, at least the way I play, feels like mostly mind games. Whereas StarCraft, it's kind of like you pretty much know what your opponent's gonna do.
Yep. 100% agree. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see. All right. So for now, Meek and I are going to take like a 2-3 minute break, and I'll reach out to Tonka and Kerpa, and we'll organize the next game for you guys. So we'll be back.
I will join the audience. All right, see you guys.
See ya. Thanks for coming on.